that, fueled by Gatorade, an absolutely monster weekend for Minnesota's Jaxon Nelson. How about 5 lamplighters, 6 points, the 5 goals to 6 points, second best in each category, not just in the Big Ten, but in the nation last weekend as the Gophers split their final regular season series against Michigan at home. And as you may have guessed, today's big interview takes us to the Twin Cities as we welcome in Jaxon Nelson. Jaxon, let's start with the weekend. I mean, 5 goals, 6 points. What was flowing so well for you and your line offensively this weekend?
Yeah, I think we were just playing simple. We were getting pucks in, we were getting on the forecheck, and we were reloading above pucks, which really helps our D be able to pressure and get the puck back up to us and makes for good transition.
Now, that was your first ever collegiate Hattie. So how do you describe that feeling, especially the fact that it came in a win and it came in what you knew was your last regular season series inside Mariucci?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was kind of a heartfelt moment, and I had a lot of family and a lot of friends in attendance to watch, so that made it even better.
You're the first star this week inside the Big Ten for the first time in your career, and as I mentioned, it comes in your final regular season series at home. Let's look at the whole picture. What have the last 5 years at Minnesota been like for you?
It's been awesome. First year was freshman year, and it got cut short because of COVID. And the year after that, it wasn't really the same because we couldn't have everyone in the building and couldn't have all our fans. And in sophomore or my senior year, we made it to the Frozen Four and came up a little short last year. And just trying to get back there again this year. That's the biggest goal of ours, and hopefully we can get it done.
I mentioned that's your first collegiate Hattie, but you're no stranger to scoring explosions. You set a Minnesota high school state record when you had 78 goals one year. That mark, along with single season points, career goals, career points, all still top 10 in state history. What do those records mean to you?
Yeah, it's kind of putting the small town of Laverne on the map, and wasn't really known for hockey, and then we ended up making the state tournament in my 8th grade year, and my 9th grade year we played in Hockey Day, Minnesota, and just kind of putting that town on a map. And they had a tough go at it in the section semifinals this year, but they're a pretty good team with a good program.
Anybody that's had the opportunity, been lucky enough to see the Minnesota High School State Championships, I mean, it's an event that's as good as it gets. So you mentioned leading your team there, and it was the first time they'd ever been to that point in the tournament. What do you look back on, and how do you remember that experience?
It was super eye-opening. I've never been there, and we still had a lot of fans. I think half the town of Laverne was there. So we always had that support, but we really didn't know. And it was just fun. And you look back at it, joke around with my buddies, and it's a good memory to have.
Now, you followed that up with 3 years in the USHL. You split your time between Omaha and Sioux Falls. How did that experience kind of shape you, not just as a player, but as a person as well?
Yeah, when I was in Sioux Falls, it was just trying to transition into that different hockey. It was a lot higher level, a lot higher paced, and you had to kind of manage your shift lengths. In high school, you can get away with taking longer shifts, and in the USHL, you have 4 lines you can play. So it's a lot different, and just being able to maximize your time on ice. And then I was still living at home, so then when I moved down to Omaha, I was obviously living with a billet family and had a really good coach in David Wilkie, and kind of learned how to live by myself and play without my family always being there. And I think it was a good thing for me to do and not come in right away, and I think it turned out for me.
You mentioned the Frozen Four and then obviously the heartbreaker a year ago. Now you get one final run to get to that NCAA tournament championship game and win the national championship. It starts this weekend, the postseason does, against Penn State in the Big Ten tournament. You beat them 3 out of 4 during the regular season, including just a couple of weeks ago, back-to-back 3-0 shutouts. What will be the key for you guys to take care of business and advance to the semis?
Yeah, Penn State's a really good team. They're really good offensively, and they play hard, and they're always looking for offense. And if you play above pucks, which we did that last weekend against them, we did pretty good. So just being able to stay committed on the D zone and stay committed in the neutral zone to not try to get too offensive minded, and just play Gopher hockey.
Obviously, Justin Close was unbeatable that weekend, and that's been the case for a lot of this season. You guys have spent a lot of time together. You came into the Gophers together. You spent 5 years as teammates on this program together. Now, goalies are notoriously quirky. So I want to know, is Justin fit that mold, or is he more of kind of the standard you would never know? He stands between the pipes and lets guys fire 100-mile-an-hour slappers at him.
Yeah, I've actually lived with him for the last 4 years, so I've gotten to know him pretty well, and I'd say he's the most normal goalie I've ever been with.
That, by the way, is a low bar when you talk about normal goalies, because there's not a lot of them out there. In terms of his play, how have you seen him kind of evolve? Because when he got there, I don't think a lot of folks thought that he'd ever be in the position that he's in now, and certainly not playing at the level that he's been playing at for the last couple of years.
Yeah, he's a really good goalie, and he's always super calm and collective. He never gets too worked up about anything, and if they score a goal, he's just like, whatever, just make the next save. And yeah, he's just a really good goalie, and he works super hard in those 2 years that he didn't play, and I think that helped him transition into the person, into the goalie he is today.
All right, now I want to know what your teammates say about you. I mean, are you like Grandpa Jackson? Are you old man Nelson? I mean, do they lay into you a little bit? I mean, you got 18-year-old guys sometimes walking in that locker room looking at somebody who's like 6, 7 years older.
No, Justin has 2 more years on me, so they kind of look at him as the grandpa.
I love it. That's what you need, by the way. You need somebody a little bit older. That way nobody can make fun of you. Hey, let's finish with this. I take you off the ice because you're an outstanding student. You're an honors student. You already graduated last May with your degree in supply chain and operations from management from the Carlson School. What's next for you when the playing career is all said and done?
I actually live on a family farm, so probably go back to that eventually once I'm done with hockey, and try to take that over. Something I think it was my great-grandpa at least started maybe even before that. So it's been a generational farm, and hopefully I can keep that going.
Yeah, how did that kind of shape you? I mean, you work that hard like you have to as on a farm. I assume it makes, a couple hours of practice seem pretty easy.
Yeah, I've kind of been used to the hard work, and the hot days in the summer is usually when it's the worst on the farm. But yeah, being in the cold rink and just getting a sweat in has never been a problem for me.
Working hard and hopefully working toward a spot in the Big Ten semis with a win over Penn State this weekend. And, of course, bigger things ahead as Jaxon Nelson and the Gophers look to get back to the Frozen Four this year, right next door in St. Paul. Jaxon, we appreciate the time. Best of luck this weekend. Look forward to following you guys throughout the postseason.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.